Okay, y'all. Have you been really tested lately in a grocery line or with a relationship or some kind of situation, and you're just like, you have self-awareness that you know that you're being tested, but yet you're not losing it or snapping in the moment? Congratulations. You are passing the test of expansion, and pretty soon something as good is going to collapse in on you from the field. Let me explain. John here with Home Over Hustle. Thank you so much for listening and watching and following us. Here, what you're going to see is a demonstration of how to stay in flow and stay in the harmonic hum of who you authentically are throughout any given day. Also, with the humanity involved. So, I was in Costco today, which can be testing and trying in and of itself, depending on where you're at. Drop in the comments, how busy is your Costco on any given day? I was in there on a Monday. And I thought, it's going to be not so much crowded, right? It's not going to be as intense as it is on the weekends. Nope. I was wrong. I'm in Cape Coral, Florida currently, and I was on the Fort Myers side going to a Costco, and I'm like, what is going on with all of these cars? But I didn't let it bother me. I just asked the question internally. So I get in there and I have to return 2 bad watermelons. Yes, they were both rough. So I go in there, I'm standing in line, and this guy is right in front of me. It seems to be like Italian, noticeably like, saying that he could have been from New York. I don't know. But he had a definite accent, and he was just like, forget about it, that kind of thing. So that could be a number of things. I'm just saying. So he's in front of me, and he's chatting it up with the Costco worker there at the return desk. And I'm standing there with my 2 watermelons, and I'm just waiting, And the guy in front of me is just like, he yells at the customer service rep that's doing the returns, and he says, hey, don't worry about it. Forget about it. I am nowhere near inpatient, and I've got all the time in the world, so take your time. Let me ask you, how would you respond or react to that? When somebody says, hey, take your time, I've got all the time in the world, without looking back to see who's in the line? How would you handle that? Yeah, big one, right? I can tell you how I was even a year ago. I would have said, did you look behind you, buddy? Internally, I would have been having this reactionary discussion and debate and flat out arguing with the guy internally. I'd be like, bro, how about us? We don't have all the time in the world. I've got to get somewhere. But something expanded in me. Something has grown in me in this awakening. And if you haven't discovered that you're in an awakening yet, you are in one. Just know that it's happening and that you're in a full-blown awakening. You just maybe not see it. You may not be aware of it, but we all are. Every bit of humanity is. And we're not talking about wokeism. We're talking about awakening. There's a difference between the two. Awakening means that I'm becoming aware, and somebody internally and externally is helping me, i.e. God, without the religious sense. It's helping me by showing me through self-awareness that it's time. It's time to wake up. It's time to awaken. It's time to ascend. It is time to expand beyond the constructs of the ego that is driving people literally crazy. The politics, all of the short-tempered stuff, the neglect, the woundedness, the everything in between, right? And so I'm standing there and I'm listening and I'm going, oh, wow, I'm not reacting. How amazing is this? I'm having this internal dialogue now. I'm like, I should be shooting on somebody right now, right? I'm pointing at my shitty designs for those of you on podcast. The tagline is because no one should be shitting on you. And I'm like, sometimes we do the biggest shitting on ourselves. So I should be upset about this right now, but I'm not. Interesting. Can I just say that life will present us with a series of opportunities to look in both directions, in both sides of the coin, if you will. One is, am I going to side with the wounded conditioning of my soul, or am I going to side with this non-illusionary lie about time anyway? The only reason we succumb to time is because of ego. When we step out of time, now we're in spirit. Now we are in our authentic selves. We're in the bigger and greater part of who we are. And that part of who we are just says, hey, I'm with the guy in front of me. I'm good. Even if I have somewhere to go, I am good. I'm going to posture my soul. I'm going to posture my nervous system in such a way that says, no problem. Hey, I can wait a few minutes. It's not a big deal. And do you know that the moment I took that posture internally, it was only a couple seconds later that the lady that was folding clothes had about a stack of them, 3, 4, 5 sets or so. She was folding the clothes that were returned. She just all of a sudden dropped them and said, hey, come on up. I've got you. You're next. Now, imagine if I would have put resistance out there and said, oh my God, internally just going, who's this guy think he is? Telling everybody he's got all the time in the world. What about the line behind you, buddy? If I would have started having that reactionary internal dialogue, I can guarantee you it would have been much longer. Why? Because when we have that reaction on the inside of resistance, we create more of it. Whatever we resist persists. That is a very true statement. So when I react to something, it extends the longevity of that time, and then I have to force myself to be patient. On the flip side, if I say, you know what, I've got this, it's no big deal, I can be doing some stuff on my phone or call somebody or whatever, right? I could just be sitting there meditating in the Costco line. Whatever it is that you fancy, whatever it is that you do. And the moment we offer non-resistance and surrender and letting go in that moment, it sends the energy right to the guy in front of us and to the counter saying, we're wide open for acceleration. And that's what happens. Acceleration occurs. The more we non-resist, the more we surrender, the more we allow, acceleration happens in the quantum field, because now the quantum realities are collapsing in on us, and we can say, even if it's a simple thing as Costco, we can say, okay, this works, because everything is energy, my friend. Everything is. Energy turned to matter. So I am taking 2 watermelons that are rotten, that are made of matter from energy, and I'm turning them into an opportunity to say, okay, the guy in front of me just sent a signal to me that this is a test of the emergency broadcast system. No, this is a test. Yeah, it kind of is in a sense, right? This is a test to see, am I going to react or respond? Big difference between the two. When we react, most of the time it's out of the egoic conditioning. When we respond, it's out of the authenticity of who I am, the bigger greatness of unconditional love that I'm made of. And when I do that, when I release that, then there's a releasing of that energy of unconditional flow and frequency that actually causes things to move faster. Try it on your next trip to Costco when you're standing in that line, or the checkout line. Try it when you're facing a crowd. Try it when you're in traffic. Try it when you're dealing with an ex. Try it when you're dealing with a business decision. Try it at work, in your coworker space, when they're just annoying you to no end. Say, hey, Am I going to react or respond to this? Because one does have consequences. And that could cause it to persist. The very thing that's annoying me can be amplified and turn into a hot mess faster than I want it to. Or I can be the guy or the woman that says, all right, no problem. I'm releasing this right now to see what the field would have to say about this, what God would have to say, what the actual reality of authenticity would have to say about this and the bigness of who I am. Costco. It's a journey, isn't it? Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And we'll see you on the next hum moment.